You know that feeling, right? That little pit in your stomach when the check engine light suddenly flicks on? It's like your car is trying to tell you something important, but it's speaking a completely different language. Well, today we're going to learn to speak that language. We're cracking one very common code.
We're zeroing in on a very specific message, especially for you Nissan owners out there, the P1148 code. And trust me, this is not just some random number. It's a direct signal from your car's computer, a heads up that there's a communication breakdown happening, and it's probably costing you money at the gas pump. So before we jump into how to fix this, we've got to understand what we're actually dealing with. What exactly is this code, and what are the real-world symptoms you might be feeling in your car right now because of it?
Okay, so what does P1148 actually mean? Well, think of it this way. Your engine's main computer, the ECM, has lost a super important phone call. It's supposed to be getting constant updates from an oxygen sensor to perfectly mix the air and fuel. When you see this code, it means that feedback loop is broken. The system calls it a closed-loop control failure. And when that feedback loop breaks, you're going to feel it. Does your car just feel kind of sluggish? Are you stopping for gas way more often than you used to? Maybe it's got a shaky, rough idle when you're at a stoplight. Yeah, those aren't just random quirks. They are classic signs that your engine is running inefficiently. To really get what's going wrong here, you have to understand the two different modes your engine runs in. Honestly, the best way to think about it is like a conversation that's supposed to be happening under the hood. See, when your car's cold, it's in open loop. It's basically running on a default recipe, a preset fuel map, and it's completely ignoring the oxygen sensor. But once it warms up, it's designed to switch into closed loop. That's the smart mode. In this mode, it's constantly listening to the O2 sensor and making tiny adjustments in real time for the best possible fuel economy and performance. So here's the kicker. P1148 means your car is stuck in that dumber, less efficient cold start mode all the time.
This quote really just says it all, doesn't it? The conversation has completely stopped. The computer is flying blind with absolutely no feedback on what's happening in the exhaust. It's just guessing at the fuel mixture, and that guesswork means you're wasting fuel and losing performance.
Okay, so we know the communication system is broken. Now, let's put on our detective hats and figure out why. What are the usual suspects that trigger a P1148 code? Well, when it comes to this particular code, there is one component that is, by a long shot, the most common offender. It's the prime suspect in our little investigation. And here it is, the upstream oxygen sensor itself. Now, upstream just means it's located before the catalytic converter. And bank 1 is simply the side of the engine with the number 1 cylinder. 9 times out of 10, this little sensor has just gotten old and tired and can't send a good signal anymore. But, and this is a big but, before you rush out to buy a new sensor, you have to consider its accomplices. I mean, the problem could be something as simple as a frayed wire, a blown fuse, or even an exhaust leak near the sensor that's throwing off the readings. Heck, even a vacuum leak or a problem with your fuel pump could be the real culprit. All right, we know the problem, and we know the potential causes. Now for the most important part. Let's build a clear, step-by-step roadmap to diagnose this thing and fix it for good. This right here is your diagnostic playbook. We're just going to walk through it, one step at a time. Following this logical process is going to save you a ton of time and money and keep you from just throwing parts at the car, hoping something sticks. And I cannot stress this enough. Step 1 is absolutely the most important. Very often, the P1148 code is just a symptom of a different problem. For instance, you might also have a code like P0171, which means the engine is running lean. Well, that lean condition could be caused by a vacuum leak, which then confuses the O2 sensor and triggers our P1148 code. You see? Fix the leak first, and the P1148 might just go away all by itself. Now, if you have a basic scan tool, it can give you the smoking gun. When you look at the live data, a healthy O2 sensor's voltage will be dancing up and down, cycling super fast between about 0.1 and 0.9 volts. But if you see a flat line or a really lazy, slow-moving number, bingo, you found your broken part. It's a dead giveaway. And of course, never underestimate the power of your own eyes and ears. Before you start replacing anything, just get in there and do a good visual inspection. Look for any wires that might be frayed or touching the hot exhaust. Listen for that telltale hissing sound of a vacuum leak. Sometimes the fix is literally right there in plain sight. So the next time that check engine light pops on, don't just see it as an annoyance. See it for what it is, a direct message from your car, a message that a tiny overlooked sensor might be the secret reason you're spending way more at the pump. And now you've got the roadmap to read that message and fix it.